Hey, hope you're having an awesome day. This is another episode with Lisa, a creative director and strategist from Sydney, Australia. We talked about networking, how to build relationships, also how to attract more work opportunities and clients and stuff like that. And she also recommends some other resources and stuff she mentions in this episode. So yeah, it's only 40 minutes long. So I encourage you guys, give it a listen. You'll learn a thing or two. And yeah, let's get stuck into it.
There's a really good creative podcast, if you've not found them already, called Creative Rebels. They're fantastic. They're great. And they just talk about it's never too late to have a go at what you feel like. If it fuels you and it's your passion, give it a go. That's a really good, there's some really good references and stuff that I've pulled out. Even down to like the whole like pushing yourself outside your comfort zones and stuff. You know, like I listen to their podcast religiously, and they're two guys that are now professional graffiti artists. And they didn't start doing it until they're in their 40s.
Yeah.
And I just think the way that they approach it and the way that they've got business and all the kind of crap bits that they've been through, like they said, whatever you feel you don't feel like doing, like you have to participate in the real world. And you don't make connections sitting in a studio behind a computer the whole time. You need to get in the real world.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's the key thing for me. Like even when we talk about connection, I was reading the other day about connection is about, it's a secret handshake between people. It's not just like connect, that's it, I'm your friend now. It's a bit more than that, and it's a bit more like it's what becomes a relationship.
Interesting point. One of my friends I saw on LinkedIn, he made a message just, I think it was today or yesterday, and it was like, what's the point of connecting with me on LinkedIn if you're not going to say something? Like, why are we connecting? Like, are you just here just to stalk me, or you know what I mean? Or do you want to build a relationship? Do you want to chat and like see how we can help each other or collaborate or whatever? And I'm like, that's really key. Like we have to have a purpose for why we're connecting with people. And we have to go in with a mindset to be very open and be willing just to say hi and like get to know somebody.
And that's the thing, like I have always, like if I connect with someone on LinkedIn, and I get a lot of people that are out there listening to this won't have premium LinkedIn or anything. So you don't get the privileges of like, you know, all of those connect with someone or call them personally until you're premium, which is a bit of a block for people on LinkedIn. But I still think if you go to connect with someone and they do accept for some reason, they might look at your profile and go, yeah, all right, I'll connect with them. Follow it up straight away. As soon as someone accepts the connection to me, like I'm ready to email them because there's a reason I've wanted to connect to them. So, you know, thank people. And then say why you're connecting with them, and not in a, I want to sell you this. Like,
that's right.
You must have a genuine interest. But to be honest, so I would say just don't bother connecting. If you're just connecting with people because you want work out of them, it's the wrong reason.
That's really good. That's really good. And do you feel like social media is the best way to build quality networks, or do you feel like you have to meet up with the person, or do you think it can be like you can do it actually online? Like, what's your thoughts?
I think it's both. I think it's a bit of both. A lot of people can do it purely online. Personally, I can't. Okay, and a lot of the reason that my website isn't sorted and my online profile has not been as in touch is because I actually prefer to like connect with the real world. And that isn't always about meeting people. It's not about spending your day having hundreds of meetings, but sometimes it's about actually going and observing the real world. And that's where you'll make connections.
Yeah.
You know, like probably sometimes going and working in a cafe or meeting up or whatever in a cafe, you'll talk to other people. Work organically grows from there. Like I've just got a project from my potentially soon to be letting agent. And it just came from going and chatting about, like she was so nice and so helpful that it became of what do you do? And that conversation of what do you do? And if you actually love what you do, and I know you do like me, you go, oh, I love what I do. And for all of the frustrations, like, you know, I make brands and bring people the world. Like you know, I give them a place and a position and find out who they are and reposition them, like really, I suppose. So I think even that, like design helps other brands and people connect with the world. So what we do connects people. So we should also connect with them. So, you know, and I think going out of the online world, like I don't honestly think we'd be doing this YouTube now if I'd never met you outside of this YouTube channel.
Probably. That's probably true.
But I also know there are a lot of people who their only existence is online.
True.
So I think like
it is true.
And so you have to figure out what works for you. Like personally, even down to like I had a meeting last week, and I can't say with, but a new client that we've just picked up, and I'm working with an agency with this client. to actually go and present the creative work and actually take the brief from them in person.
Okay.
And they're fine for us to do the work and like do it however we want. But to us, it was important because they are so close. If they were in another country, maybe not.
Yeah.
But to actually go and take the work and talk to them.
That's awesome.
And a lot of they personally said that. They said a lot of agencies that we pitched for the work, like they will just send it over.
Yeah, that's
which is fine. If you're out the country, it's fine. You can't always do it.
Yeah, I think that's fine if it's online. But I think, but definitely like being in the room with someone, your passion and your personality and like everything gets transferred in like into the atmosphere, and they really feel the weight of what you're saying and what you're presenting. Like I presented client work online, and that works too as well. Like, because I'm always very open and honest and confident. But yeah, definitely it's just a different dynamic, and I think everyone should at least have an experience where they're actually doing something in person, because it's a whole nother realm. I think it's really cool.
But when you do that, you would video in, wouldn't you? Like, I think that's important as well. Like, I think 100%. A lot of people just jump on a phone call. One thing I do think is important is to actually kind of, if you can hop on a video call, that's helpful.
Definitely. And like, even in the context of like getting connected with someone, say on LinkedIn or Instagram, do you feel like jumping on a video call would be helpful, just saying, hey, I just want to say hi? And do you think that's really cool? Because the funny thing is, because one time on Instagram, I messaged someone, like just because he wanted to connect and then like just meet new people. And then from that, we built a relationship, and we had a video call a couple of weeks later. And then now we're friends, and like, you know, we can send each other work, we give each other advice, you know, if we send each other resources, it's just like amazing, just because we're like, oh, let's have a video call and see like who you are, what do you do, just, you know, just a bit of friendship.
And I do think that's really beneficial, but by the same token, I can talk about from personal experience. Like, if you are really busy, and you will get, like, you are really busy, like life is very busy. And so for me, it's not, I don't want to connect with everyone. I want to connect with people that actually want to spend more than 5 minutes with, or that, you know, we can help each other. I'm not there just to kind of add as many friends as possible. And I love to meet people in our industry, but I don't just want to meet them once and then go, all right, see ya. But for example, like, I've been so busy lately. So anyone who's in my network who has tried to catch up, I apologize. But, like, there's a lady who, when I was, and I won't name any names or anything, but a professional contact who connected with me on LinkedIn when I was in the UK. So I was on vacation, but I was also working. And so I said, and she was based in the UK, and said, I've got a potential opportunity. Are you keen to catch up? And you kind of go, well, look, it's an opportunity. I've got to hear someone out. That's, of course. So I said, yeah, sure. Like, I'm happy to catch up, you know, whether you want to like do a call or you want to like catch up in person, that would be great. I'm a little busy at the minute. But perhaps, you know, give me a bit of time. And at that time, like, I did get very busy. And people who pursue you when you are really busy can be frustrating. And like, she sent me every single week, she sent me a message on LinkedIn, and she's only ever connected with me on LinkedIn to say, can I give you a call? Can we jump on a call? Can you? And the more, to be honest, personally, the more you push me, the more I'm likely to go, look, I'm really busy, and I have a lot of people who actually, like, I value my time and I value their time. And it's important to me to deliver to clients first, and to deliver to, you know, companies and agencies that I'm working with, or people that I'm working with directly that I already know and have that connection and relationship with. Like, I don't, like, and it's nothing personal. I get it. Like, we all want to reach out and connect with people. But when someone says to you, look, I am really busy at the minute, I will get back in touch with you. Like, I have I will get back in touch with this lady, but right now, like, things are very busy, and it's more important that I deliver to the people that need me to deliver, and not let people down. I don't like, it's one thing I hate, is letting people down.
Yeah. 100%.
And so I would say to people, when you do connect, just be conscious of that, in terms of, like, don't let people down. Don't be I want to connect with you for a little bit of a fleeting moment. Like, make sure it's genuine.
Yeah.
Because people can feel when it's not genuine, just like they can when a brand is faking it.
Definitely.
Or, you know, a company or a service or an agency. If people are faking it, you know.
Yeah. And I'll add to that, like, the thing is, like, don't commit to something that you're not sure you can deliver on, or like you can help with, especially if you're being busy, you know what I mean? Like, you're not in the right state of mind because you're thinking about, oh, I've got to finish this client project, I've got to have this meeting and stuff. So I guess it just comes down to people skills as well, like just having awareness of what's going on in someone else's life, and don't always be hasty with everything and try and rush or pressure people. I think it's always good to think of the bigger picture, and give people space as well. I think that's really important.
And I think that's a really good point. And it comes with time, because I used to be someone who, you know, like I've said to you before about someone kicking me under a meeting table to go, shut up until like whatever it is finished. You're bursting to get things out. And if you're emailing someone, you've just listened to something they've done or read something that they've done. You go, I'm going to find them on LinkedIn and I'm going to connect with them. Like, just think first of one, how many messages they might get, or like just sit on it, prepare an email or whatever, and then just sit on it. Like, don't scattergun approach it, I suppose. Like, think about what you want from it and what it is to them and you. Don't only think about the benefit to you.
Yeah, that's right. Always think of, like, I've recently just posted a post about how to smash a job interview, and one of the slides I said is like, focus on the value you bring to the company or the other person, not yourself. It's not about you. It's actually about how can you help them. You know, what value you bring, what skills can you bring to uplift their branding or their company internally or externally with clients, and how can you be a blessing to them instead of just thinking about me. You know what I mean?
Put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. So let's talk a bit about like how do you promote yourself out there, and like what are some of the ways, if people are contacting people on LinkedIn, do you think that's the best way, or do you think like have you ever done social media ads, or should we just be posting content or cold calling? Like, what do you think are the best methods?
And that's a really interesting one, because I was listening and reading quite a lot the other day about being connecting with people as an introvert. Because quite a lot of designers and people are, we assume that we're all like this full-on front amongst the world. And not everyone is. And if I'm completely honest, when I first moved to Australia 9 years ago, my flatmate of the time will tell you now, like, you were so shy when you first came here.
Really? Wow.
And I think you have to break that barrier. Like, I was really shy, but the only way you're going to get to know people is by talking to them.
Definitely. That's it.
Pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone.
That's right.
And if you're not as comfortable online, or you don't like promoting yourself, like, let's be honest, we have to promote ourselves somehow.
You have to. That's right.
So I think, like, whether you do ads on LinkedIn or social media or however you want to promote yourself, you have to decide how to promote yourself, or else no one's going to know you exist.
Yeah. And
it is uncomfortable if you're not someone who, like, I'm not someone who's like, sell myself. Like, I don't have a big ego, but I'm like, over time you become more confident in your abilities. I believe in what we do, and I think you learn what your skills and your benefits and negatives are, and you work on the things that you're not so good at.
Yeah.
And for me, definitely it was learning to be more confident and talk to people that you've never known, and even presenting work. And it comes from surrounding yourself with people who do the things or will help nurture and kind of build you.
Yeah.
So put yourself in a studio where they actively get you to talk about your work.
Yeah.
Like you said, jump on a call with a client.
Yep.
And it's scary. It is scary the first time you do it, but the more you do it, the more it doesn't become an issue.
Yeah, it becomes fun.
It's a lot easier to sell your work than yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Like, as soon as you jump on a call or, like, you know, show your work and stuff, it just shows you're more confident instead of trying to, because sometimes people feel like you're trying to hide behind the computer or something, and they feel like, oh, maybe this person can't do the job. So if you can show that you're proactive about, let's jump on a call, you're giving them the next steps, you're showing them the process, making it easy on that journey, then they're like, oh, this person's a professional, and they're going to have that image in their mind when they think of you next time.
And be honest as well, like, you know, like if you're actually talking to someone, or you even if you're interviewing, for an example, like, be honest. If someone says, oh, have you got experience in alcohol branding, and you go, like, don't there's no point in saying, yes, I do, I have stacks. Like, just be honest and go, I don't have a lot, but I do have experience in this. So it's often about not necessarily drawing on what you don't have, but kind of like focus on what you do have and what you can bring, and the fact that you're willing to learn about it. Even client meetings, like the amount of designs that we've been to present and they've gone, oh, it's not necessarily what I wanted, and you go, all right, let's figure it out, let's talk about it. So I think it's that, and I think, like, it's easy to just connect with people online, but, like, push yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I think it has to be, we have to promote ourselves. It's the hardest thing. I've been asking, you know, talking about doing my own website for ages, because it's reached a point. One thing that I did listen to, I went recently to Rare Sydney, part of D&AD, and it was quite a lot for people in our industry of all sorts of capacities that are a bit different, or they've gone through challenging times to get to where they are now.
Yeah.
There's a really good guy, and I'll give you his reference. His name is David Slocum. And he does quite a lot of talks on the importance of strengthening your network, not just when you need them.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. It's like we've all got connections and networks, and we've all got our profile on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But normally, people don't update it, and they don't connect with people until they need a job or until they need something.
True, that's true.
And if you are constantly, the connections you do make, if you're constantly in touch with people, then it won't be a big scare when you go like, I'm after a new project. Yeah, go on.
And I was gonna say, like, how do you do that in a way that's like you don't seem desperate? Like, because what if you're actually like a young freelancer or designer and you actually need a job? Like, how can you do it in a way that's sort of genuine?
I think that's when if it's genuinely on your mind, like go to meetup groups and things like that.
They're good.
And again, they're the connecting with people. Like actually go when you're not desperate for work. Like I'll be honest, like recently I've gone self-employed.
Yeah.
So I've broken out of their agency confines and things. And for me, I was a bit like, what's going to happen if the work doesn't come? But to be honest, even when I've been in roles or been at agencies, I've kept in touch with clients, with people I've worked with before. And that, because I'm interested in them, I want to know how people are doing, not because I need something from them. I genuinely care.
Yeah.
And you're fascinated. Like I look around what's going on globally, like and look at some of the agencies that I follow and that I respect and admire to see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so that it's not a big scare when you go, if you're in a bubble, then if that bubble bursts, you've not ever looked outside of the bubble.
That's right.
And so luckily and thankfully, like I'm actually really busier than I could have imagined in that, like I'm trying to find freelancers to help me cope with the amount of work.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm really thankful for it.
Yeah, so good to hear.
But it's only because I've not suddenly gone, like I've not really spoken to anyone in ages. Like I actually have friends or connections and it organically comes around. And it's also not always about making all of your connections people who do what you do.
Yes.
Like some of the work has actually come from like areas that I wouldn't have expected.
Yeah.
Like I said, even down to your letting agents and things like that.
Yeah. Like you'd be surprised.
Yeah, like to be honest, like if when you talk to freelancers, you're going to find out like where they're freelancing.
Yeah. That's right. And like you never know where the work's going to come from. Like it's just obviously like if you have a funnel and you're marketing, and of course you will know certain areas, but like sometimes you just, even for me, like on LinkedIn, this recent client just from the UK just messaged me and I was like, oh, awesome. Like, and he saw one of my content that I've been doing posting. And then, he's just like, oh, hey, you might be able to help me just from that one piece of content, or he saw like someone liked it. And the other one is from another platform. Sometimes I have friends from like church, they have a new business and like they need a logo to start up. So like there's people everywhere in all walks of life. If you're just aware and paying attention and constantly being an advocate or a brand ambassador for your own like creative business, then the work will always come,
Yeah, if you're proud of what you do and you actually enjoyed it in the process of it. Even down to things like some of the work that I've got recently has come from like people who might have complementary businesses. So they might have an artwork business or they might have a, those kind of things and go, like I've got a client and they might need some creative, like they might need some strategy based stuff. You go, well, yeah, sure, I can help you with that bit. And you can help with, look, my dear friend Gareth has been helping me doing tub renders because he's great at artwork. So, just little things that like, if you have friends that are kind of complementary, like the office studio that I'm working in with at the moment, there are all sorts of different businesses in this building and we all do different things. So it's only by, like I'll chat to someone in the kitchen, we'll say hello to people when you're out and about in those areas and they will say, what is it you do? Like, that's a great question. Ask people what they do. Be interested. Like that's the best way to do it. And they might go, you might have something you can help me with. People have seen you online and gone, maybe you can help me.
Yeah, that's right. Like, and I always hear that tip that at co-working spaces or buildings that have other people, there's always opportunities because people need help with their business or they're trying to grow their startup, whatever. So there's always opportunities around. You just got to look in the right places and ask and just say hi, talk to someone.
Definitely. And I was reading a book the other day by a guy called Dan Schwabel, which is a really weird name. I'll spell it and you can add it. Okay, but it's about being back to humanization. It's about our need to connect in a world of isolation. Yeah. So that technology is changing the way that we work and we use it so much. Like we couldn't exist without it. But it's also, people are now struggling more than ever to connect outside of technology.
Oh, 100%. It's true. Like
even that's the thing, like,
Sorry, I don't know if you've heard of a book. It's called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. And he has other books called Deep Work and stuff. It's all about productivity. But this new book, I think he released it this year or last year. And it's all about cutting down social media and all that stuff, because it's just like we need to get out and start having those relationships again, because technology has so clouded our world that, it's taking a lot of time and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's so many things that are good about it, but there are so many things that, like, we need it, but we need to learn to not have it, I suppose.
Good point. That's really good. It's awesome. So obviously, like, you're freelancing and you're running your business, and you're talking to people. Like, what are some other ways that you can attract work opportunities? I know personally for me, like, I've started upgrading my portfolio and putting case studies. Do you find that's one of the best ways to share it? And should you share it on social media?
It's a really difficult one and it's one that, like, at the moment, my portfolio isn't online at the moment.
Okay. Cool.
I have a portfolio that I show to people. And one of the hardest things is do you know what? You kind of I've worked on so many things that actually it becomes difficult if you don't. I would recommend, one thing I've not done very well is catalog everything you've done, because I remember everything I've done. And I'll be able to grab it from different hard drives when I need to.
Yeah.
But to actually have some sort of log or catalog, I do now keep hold of all my sketches and things like that. So I'll, technology has made it easier for us to document it.
Yes.
So, like, document it, take pictures, everything is online and it's documented and you've got it.
Yeah.
But actually then every project that you finish, it's easy to say now, but every project, do it along the way, so that if someone says, have you got something that's in whiskey design, or have you got something that's in this kind of branding or social branding, if you have, you've got it easy to hand, because otherwise it takes ages to go retrieve it, find it, edit it, because it was probably done at a company rather than some of the work I've done as creative director recently at Park Williams and things like that, or other agencies, you're not actually legally allowed to show it. I find that very difficult, because of clauses and things like that. So one thing that, because I've always primarily been with agencies, I actually can't show a lot of my work online.
It can be hard. Like, what do you do in that situation then? If you're like, can you still show it? Like, obviously, can you show it to a client, like, if you're doing a one-on-one job instead of putting it online? Like, what's your...
I do like to, I can, like, you can take it and you can show examples in a portfolio that is not, no one can take that away. You can show them. I would never email anything over. I would never, unless you've password protected things.
Okay.
So there are obviously work in my portfolio that I've worked on or that I've, done at agencies.
Yeah.
But it's very much you can show it to someone in person, or you could screen share it with them, obviously, couldn't you?
Yeah.
If you were doing it online, but I wouldn't have it as trackable content online.
Okay.
The other reason for that is because it dates. And you look at agencies' website and the kind of work that they do, and it dates really quickly. So unless you're prepared to put in the time and update it regularly, if you've got case studies even online, they actually can date. And something that you might have done like 5-10 years ago, and it's actually not, the brand might still have carried forward, it will still be in existence and to life, but the way it was presented back then versus the way it was presented now, like, I know stuff, like, I've done work, like, you remember the old Sarah Lee project. The work is still selling, it's online, the rebrand is still valid.
Yeah.
The presentation of it, like 5 years ago, I would have shot it completely different for showing to the world now.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. And
I think that can be a barrier. Like, sometimes you just want to show, like, the logos and tell people about the brands you've worked on. And like, people have paid you to do it. So.
Yes. Like, I could just imagine, like, designers who've been like 30-40 years, like, all the big names, like, think about how much work they have. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, you shouldn't really show everything. Like, you can only show, like, the most recent, maybe 2-3 years at max, and then show the best work. And one question I do have is, like, obviously you're really great at packaging and you do strategy and branding, logos and stuff. Do you have, like, different PDFs or different portfolios for each specific category that you send off?
I don't have a specific category. I have an overview of what I would do, but there might be different projects. I might tailor the projects in it.
Okay.
So if a client is looking to something that is more strategic based, then I would show them more of the process I got to with a strategy of a particular brand that I've done before.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone is purely buying into the visual, they just want something that's more design content, then I'll show them something that's more design content.
Okay.
I think you can tailor it a little bit.
Yeah,
but really, I think people should buy into you. And one thing I do recommend when you go in to talk to someone is, in terms of showing them a portfolio, whether it's online or offline, yes, definitely show them you can do the job. Show them a couple of examples of work you've done or what you've done for people. And choose. But I actually don't think, and people might say, oh, as much as you can put in your portfolio, the better. I actually think more than 3 examples of what you've done or what you've shown is enough.
Okay.
Like I think 3 is enough. If they're different enough, I think it's enough, because they want to know what you can do for them, not what you've done for someone else.
That's right. True. Good point.
So prove what you can do. And I think I'm building a website at the moment with a friend of mine, or helping him out with his agency and building the website. And it's about, let's not put loads of creds on the website. We've both got a very good experience. We might show a few of the results of work that we've done. But ultimately, one, we've both been at agencies, so you can't show a lot. But people are buying into what you can do for them. And you might say, well, look, here's a snippet of what I've done before. Like 1 pages. This brand, like a nice little scattergun. And that can include sketches on there too, to show that you can do it. But ultimately, what's your challenge? That's what I want to be asked. If I'm someone and going, do I use these guys? Like, I don't want them to talk all forever about what they've done before. I want them to go, all right, what are we going to do? So it's that fine balance of prove what you've done, but then kind of also be prepared to listen more than you talk.
100%. Listening is the key.
Like I had Gareth here and like little voice in my ear then.
Like, probably because you've learned,
But I do have I did just put down, in terms of making connections, I jotted down 6 like top tips.
Great. That'd be great. Let's share them with us. That'd be awesome.
Quick and dirty. So I've just got the first one is make a plan to participate in the real world. So that meet a friend, take a walk, like create something. Like be in the real world outside of like your comfort zone.
I think that's awesome.
Lead into that. The second one is step away from technology. Like make a plan about.
We have to design. We have to do work.
And you do need to come back to that as well. Like have conversations without any technology in view.
Yeah, I think that's great. Especially if you're like out with lunch, like put your phone in a bag, or like leave it at your desk or something, or just in a pocket, something. Just leave it away.
Do they let you take phone in church?
Yeah, you can. But you just put it on silent. Silent. Yeah. But I prefer. It's better to have it off or just have in your bag, because it can distract you. Like when you're trying to focus, like on listening to the speaker or with the the music and stuff. It's like you want to be focused on that one thing. It's like in a client. It's like in a client meeting. You want to give your full attention to your client. You know what I mean? So same sort of thing.
Yeah, I thought about that. Like like official institutions and things. Like I was at a yoga class last night, and like for me, like, as soon as you walk in, it's a really bossy yoga teacher. Like phones out the way, no phones in the door.
Okay.
I'm good. Like I have to go for a run first, but kind of get the technology out of my mind.
Yeah, you don't have to be too strict.
I think, and it's discipline with yourself. Like you have to discipline yourself. Like I know I've done it. Like if my phone is on the desk when I'm working, like I'm looking at it constantly. So I just put it out the way, like, or upside down.
Yeah, it's all about it. For me, it's about habits and like developing your mindset and helping you not react so much. Because like some days I have really good focus days, and then sometimes I'm like, if I post something and I'm like constantly checking LinkedIn and Instagram, I'm like, what am I doing? And then I'm like, I gotta put my phone in the other room or put it in the drawer so I don't see it.
Yeah, and turn your Wi-Fi off.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
It is really hard to do, but every now and again I do have to force myself to do it, or else I spend more time, like say, checking things. You don't actually just get the job done. Get the piece of paper. I will often force myself to go out with a notebook without like any laptops or anything. I think that's really good.
That's great.
Everyone's different, but I find that really beneficial to go and actually get your thoughts, not by looking at any sort of technology or anything.
Yeah, because your brain stops being so active and reacting, and your subconscious starts helping you think of solutions. That's how it works. It's like awesome. Yeah. So I agree with you on that. It's powerful. Okay, so number 2, what was number 2?
Number 2 is the step away from the tech.
Okay, so number 3?
The third one is by dropping the ego.
Okay.
And actually listening and taking, being in a conversation rather than putting on a performance. So, and that's the thing that I do think happens a lot online, is that you can be whoever you want to online, and that whole fake it till you make it thing, which I'm a big believer of. Like, I'm a big believer, sometimes you just close your eyes and jump into things.
Yeah.
But a different kind of fakeness exists online.
Yeah.
Like, because people can be who they want.
True.
And I do think sometimes you've just got to put that ego to the side. And don't feel like you need to act a part. Just be you.
That's the best advice, being you.
Yeah, like, be yourself. Like, it's something that I used to, I used to think you needed to be someone else. But actually, like, one of the podcasts that I listened to that we spoke about earlier, Creative Rebels, they talk quite a lot about people who almost get suited up to go and look and act a part. And then they realize, like, they would get work organically, whatever they dress like. If Steve Jobs used to wear like a plain t-shirt and jeans to work every day, because people buy into people.
That's right.
They don't buy into what you look like.
That's right.
Impressions are important. First impressions
100%.
are important.
Yes.
Of course they are.
Yes.
But beyond that first impression, people will buy into you.
That's
so I'm not saying everyone should walk around in like shorts and thongs or whatever, but like, make a good impression, but then also be allowed, like, make that impression yours and make it genuine. It's
more than just the outside. It's about what do you carry? What are you carrying inside you?
Yeah, just kind of actually be genuine in yourself, and people will buy into you authentically rather than trying to fake it.
Great tip. Awesome. Cool. What's the next one?
So I think there's a couple of different mixed ones today. So the fourth one was just to be curious, to like listen, observe, learn.
Listen, observe, learn. That's good. Never stop learning. Being an avid. I saw an Instagram post. I think it was yesterday. It's like for an avid, always a student. That's what they said. They're always going to be a student, no matter how like high they get or the experience. Their mindset is, I'll always be a student. I'm like, that's a good tip.
Because for all of the experience that we have about our industry and about design, every single client that we work with, we have lots to learn about them.
True.
So I think even that, like, the next one is very much about brands and understanding that connection is more than a mark.
Yeah.
And I think for us, when we work with other people, like, that's our never stop learning.
Yeah.
We work with brands and clients to find out as much as possible about them. And I think to twist that back and say to brands, to people, to services, if you have something, what you do is, like, the connection that you need to make in the same way that we're connecting with each other is more than just a mark. It's everything that encapsulates who you are, that authenticity. It's the way you interact, your persona, beyond a screen and beyond a little brand or logo. And our job is to learn as much about our clients or our brand or our services, and then re-communicate that back. We solve problems by taking things apart and putting them back together in a better way.
Yes. Excellent. Definitely. Like,
and think about how you explain that to clients as well, to go, well, look, I get that you want a brand, but what we need to do is almost take you apart. I need to observe and learn and know everything about you, so we can take that apart and put it back together in a way that connects to the world.
That's right. Yeah. We unravel their thoughts and we put it you take the chaos and bring it into order and, make it simplified in a way.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Such great tips.
Intuitive re-communicate it.
Yes, that's it.
And then the sixth one is embrace discomfort. It isn't comfortable to kind of, this is the whole like, oh, I'm really shy or whatever, or like, you can play to your strengths. If you are really shy or you don't like to just go up and talk to people, there are ways to do it. Like, if you don't like talking to a room full of people, organize one-to-ones. Like, go to meetup groups where it's just a couple of people having a coffee.
Yeah.
You'll soon get over it. Like, it is sometimes pushing yourself, and like, it's not easy to connect with people. But just make it a mission to like talk to one person rather than 10 people. Present work to your mum, and then do it beyond your mum.
I love my mum, but
yeah, but get people who will have an honest opinion. Like, it was nice before we chatted to go, what do you think to this? Like, like, talk to people and go, like, what do you think to it? And be honest.
That's right.
Like, you can only grow by being honest.
That's right. Always be honest.
Show someone something and they're like, oh, I'm not sure. It's subjective, right? It's subjective.
That's right.
Like, what we do is subjective, but we've worked hard and learned. So be prepared to show people and then go, I'm not sure, or I hate it, or I love it.
Yeah.
Like, take a risk.
Take a risk. It's all about them risks, stepping out, taking a leap of faith. because that's where the best fulfilling work is, and that's how
One
you
of the
grow.
things that I was saying last night is kind of like all of this connection that we're talking about now. Why would you bother? And actually, one of the facts that I pulled out, and it was on Fast Company actually, there was a nice little article on there, but it was at least 70% of job openings are never listed.
70%?
So 70% of jobs are never listed.
Why?
So they come through connection, and they exist through the community of colleagues. And they're more about people going.
It's true.
It comes through, like they're never listed in publications and things. They come through organically, people learning and people opening doors, and the opportunities might go, oh yeah, so-and-so's looking for someone.
100%.
It's never listed as an official job online.
Yeah, and I can agree with that, because at my previous job I was working at this social research agency, all the employees literally all came through a friend, you know, and this person, like either they knew them from church or from family friends or from school, and that's how I got the job. My friend told me about it, and then I left, and then he got his other friend to come in. So it was like, it makes it easy for the company where they can trust the person, but it just makes the process so much smoother. And having that like culture is just, that's how it happens, like just by knowing people in your sphere of contact.
And it just happens. Like before I finished at my last agency, I was working with some really great freelancers, and I kept in touch with, we just chatted, and not only does it help if I do get really busy, but it also helps in terms of like, if I go, well, I'd like to I need some studio exposure, I miss being around people.
Yeah.
They would go, are you busy as well? So it becomes an organic cycle of, I enjoyed the process of working with that person. How can I work with them again? And I think that's the same with companies. It's also the right place at the right time. But to put yourself in the right place at the right time, you've got to be in a place. Like it doesn't come to you. Things don't just come to you. Like the world doesn't come to you.
Yeah.
Like if you're not doing adverts online and updating your website, like it doesn't come to you.
You got to have some sort of strategy, and then you got to put in the work and effort. Because yes, like things can attract you and things like that by giving and helping others, but you got to have a strategy, and then you got to do the work. So that's what I believe as well. It takes hard work, but you can get what you believe for.
Yeah, there are no get rich quick strategies.
That's right. There's no magic pill. Sorry.
There's not. Like I genuinely think it's like that whole people go, you're so lucky, and it's like, no, I love what I do, and I work really hard. We have a true passion about what we do and making a difference.
Yes, that's right.
And like there are ways to do things easier, but like it to be honest, it's hard work.
That's right. And like there's like some entrepreneurs, like they've been doing content recently, and they're like, don't wish it was easier. Like it's actually a good thing that it is a challenge, because if it's not a challenge, you probably wouldn't even started it or stepped into that, because you know what I mean? It's good that it's a challenge, because you're going to grow from it, and you're going to come out so much more better than even starting, So.
And always think about it, the worst thing that can happen. What's the worst that can happen? You can fail. In fact, this week's Creative Bravery podcast, if you find those two guys,
awesome.
It's about the power of failing, and just things that you kind of have a go and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And then you learn and you figure out new ways around it. There are probably people listening to this who've tried to make loads of connections on LinkedIn and people haven't responded. And that's okay, because you know that way doesn't work.
That's right.
We've done it perhaps with clients where we've gone, oh, yep, I can do that for you in 4 days. Not a problem. And you cost it, and it takes you 20 days.
Wow.
But you learn from it. Like you kind of go, oh, like there's a rookie mistake. Like I actually had no money, and I can just about pay like my bills and my rent on that. So you learn by just putting it out there. If you'd have never tried to do it in 4 days, like, you learn it by experience, and
that's right.
You just expose yourself to everything. Like
that's right. I agree, and it goes back to the point of being curious. Like if you're curious, you'll try things out. You do this, you'll put this work up here. You'll try this side project. You'll do more. You know what I mean? Take action.
Yeah, and be curious about people. Like be curious about your clients, and and genuinely, not just I was told to be curious. I was told to be interested. I was told to ask questions. Actually listen to the answers. I think that's the one thing. There's so much content online. There's so many things that you can just listen to and absorb it. People spend more time picking what to watch on Netflix than actually watching Netflix, because there's so much choice. Like even your YouTube channel, whatever, there's so much content online. So if you're going to put something online and you're only going to promote yourself online, be aware that there's a lot of content online. Definitely. Why are you any better? And what value are you giving to people? Because people will come back if you give value. If there's no value, they won't bother.
That's right.
And I think it's like that in real life as well. Like people will want to work with you and come back as connections if you give them value. Like give them value. And that's not value as a physical thing.
Yeah.
It's about them enjoying the process of working with you.
Yeah.
Or talking to you or whatever.
Yeah. And I just got reminded of a quote after you just talked about this. There's a guy called the Brand Doctor. He's an awesome guy. You should check him out. And he said, until, I'm probably paraphrasing here, but he's like, until your client's success becomes your passion and like you lose sleep over it, like you get the point, then that's when you'll become a success. So like, you have to care so much more about your client's success, right?
Yeah.
Than your own. And that's when you really start making big progress. I was like, wow, it's powerful.
And do you know what? I was talking to someone the other day because I was talking to someone about Bitcoin. And I was sort of saying, like, is it worth investing in? Should you invest in Bitcoin? And they said, look, whatever you invest your money in should be something that you learn as much as you can about. If you love Bitcoin, you learn it enough to know about it, then you'll make money in it because you'll be watching it. You'll be interested in it. If you invest in a company of pea milk, you will have a passion and an interest in it. Like you'll know how it's performing. So whether you invest in the stock market or whatever, if it's something you're passionate about, it will make you money because you're following it, you're interested in it.
Yeah.
And so, like, yes, invest in Bitcoin is what it actually says, but actually only if you're actually going to want it. And like you said, it's if you are so wanting your client to do well, that's when you know you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Like you actually 100%. Care about it that much.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think it's so key. Well, as we start wrapping up, do you have any resources that people can go to, especially like when it comes to like, you know, building networks or promoting yourself or attracting opportunities? What are some resources that you can share with us?
In terms of, I definitely think like I listen to a lot of TED Talks, and I definitely think in terms of resources in what you put out there, Brené Brown is a really good person to listen to. I would really recommend that, and I can send you the link so you can include it in the YouTube. There's a piece about teaming by David Slocum, which is an article, and he has a channel as well that's worth listening to.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah, TED Talks. I've got a few that I can send you to add to it.
Definitely.
And also for brands as well, in terms of brands that we feel would connect.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend people check out the podcast Creative Bravery. I know I should be promoting my own podcast, but we've not recorded one for ages because my podcast buddy is off having a baby. So, so he's not had any time beyond changing nappies, so we've not recorded a podcast in ages.
That's all right. Well, I'll put the link in the
Creative
description.
Bravery is a really good podcast to listen to kind of, if ever you think that what you're doing is not the right thing, listen to these guys and believe that just have a go. Like it's for creative entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Amazing. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Your path.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's awesome. Like, yeah, everything you suggested, I think is going to be very helpful. Just send me the links and we'll put it in the video, which will be awesome. So yeah, any last thoughts you want to share? Points, queries, curiosities?
I don't think so. Just be ever curious.
Ever curious. Love it. Well, thanks so much for sharing your tips again.
Good to chat.
Awesome. Yeah,
thanks, Jeremy. Good to
good. Thanks, Lisa.